down to Donington for the final round of the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. Behind me we have Mark Kemp, who's been dominating in his ex-touring cars, but right behind him all the way is Mark Bennett in his S2000. Will he be able to keep up the good form this weekend?
Well, Mark Kemp had problems in quali, so he starts at the back in a borrowed car. Stuart Hutchinson and Mark Bennett on the front, then Paul Donkin and Steve Barden, followed by Jeff Cooper and Matthew Walker. Stuart King and Phil Wright from Will Watkin and Ryan Fox. Peter Dunmore and Tony Markham next from Paul Webb and Neil Wren, then Darren Smee and Mark Kemp 16th on the grid. Mark in Martin Kemp's car. And away we go. Look out for the two Honda VTEC Challenge newcomers on the second row of the grid. Paul Donkin and Steve Barden, both respected drivers in other fields, and great to see them here this weekend. Peter Dunmore in 46 makes a good start. Normally you see cars flying off when they get to Redgate for the first time, but no such problems here in the Honda VTEC Challenge, the last meeting of the 2015 season underway. So coming down on the inside line there is Matthew Walker, challenging 191, Steve Barden. Steve's been racing in the Classic Touring Car Club Championship, had a very good season indeed there, finishing 6th overall. But out front, it's Mark Bennett in the 45, who made a great start. Now, since we last saw you with our action from our August meeting at Brands Hatch, we've had an outing at Mallory Park, which sadly we didn't get to film. But I'll fill you in on what happened there as we look at 73 Stuart King being chased by Phil Wright. So there's action all the way down the field and a little bit of contact there, and coming through, and in fact out of the race goes Mark Kemp. Mark Kemp in the 68 car, the borrowed car, and his fortune just is not happening this weekend. He was working his way through the field, and I think a little bit of contact there causing problems for him, but Stuart Hutchinson involved in a great battle with Mark Bennett. Look at them side by side as they come through Hollywood, down into the Craner curves. Bennett in the grey S2000, Hutchinson in the blue Integra. Hutchinson has to remain in second position at the moment. We've got Paul Donkin in third place, Donkin running in the production class, as is Steve Barden, and in the mix as well we've got the CRX of Jeff Cooper, the red and black. I know we've got 3 red cars in shot, but Cooper in the CRX, which is the 5th place car at the moment, and then I think followed by Ryan Fox. So out front though, Mark Bennett is the leader of this one. Mark, who took 2 class wins at Mallory Park, which was the 26th of September. It's been a super year for the Honda VTEC Challenge. I know Jonathan Fletcher and the team have been pleased with what's happened, and another very healthy entry this weekend. So down the Wheatcroft straight they come, and it's still Mark Bennett leading, but Stuart Hutchinson's getting wound up, looking to the outside line. I don't think he's clear up enough to draw level here. Still got Paul Donkin being challenged by 191 Steve Barden. Picks a little bit of dirt up there, does Steve. And Donkin under big pressure. Then we've got Jeff Cooper in the Integra. And down through the Craner curves again, in towards the old hairpin. Stuart Hutchinson, where can he get past? At the moment, he's around about a length or so behind, and maybe just trying to work out if Mark Bennett has a weak spot on the circuit anyway. He's going to be hoping for a mistake from Bennett. Both of these cars running in the tuner class. Matthew Walker now running in Super Tuner, took an overall win at Mallory Park. 3rd position in race number 1 at Mallory, and down the inside goes Hutchinson. Hutchinson's through into the lead. Mark Bennett second, then Paul Donkin, followed by 191 Steve Barden. Matthew Walker coming up as well. Walker trying to get himself on the back end of the CRX, which is looking down the inside at the moment of Steve Barden. Has a look down the inside. Barden comes across, grabs the line, holds on to position. Matthew Walker in behind them in the number 10, the white Civic with the blue wheels. Now Mark Bennett has got the fastest lap of the race so far as well, so really getting to grips with the circuit now. Qualifying wise, a few problems in qualifying. We lost, sadly, Peter Dixon. He was back with us for this meeting and lost fifth gear, so sadly loaded up. I mentioned the problems for Mark Kemp. That meant that we lost Martin Kemp, with Mark taking that car over, and Daz Smee had a spin at the Craner curves, which pushed him uncharacteristically further down the field than we're used to seeing Daz racing from, the number 14. So some cracking racing going on there, as you can see, with Jeff Cooper in the CRX coming under a fair bit of pressure. They're getting into some back marker traffic now. Coming up as well is Stu King in the white and blue Integra Type R, hoping to try and catch up here with Jeff Cooper. Matthew Walker up ahead of him, so we'll see what Stuart King can do. Stuart running in the production class, and at the moment third in class. Steve Barden up now ahead of Paul Donkin, so Barden leading the production class on his debut in the Honda VTEC Challenge. A little bit of a wide moment there for Matthew Walker, trying absolutely everything he can. Steve Barden fastest in the production class, the Super Tuner class fastest lap with Matthew Walker. Here's the battle for the lead though. Stuart Hutchinson still there. Mark Bennett second into the Fogarty S's and onto the main straight. So Stuart Hutchinson in 85, the man from Manchester, owner of VTEC Conversions, previously raced a Honda historic S800 and raced in the Nippon Challenge, the Quaife Motorsport News Championship down at Brands Hatch and Linden Circuit. But great to see him here and running well from Mark Bennett. So things getting a tad more spaced out now, and a really good battle on here between Matthew Walker in 10 and Paul Donkin in treble 6. I'm sure Paul's enjoyed this. We've seen Paul out in the likes of the Carrera Cup and the Clio Cup on the touring car package. And as you can see, a capable driver, really qualifying well. Paul Donkin, pole position in the production class, ahead of Steve Barden, but at the moment Steve Barden, the man up ahead of him, well, two cars ahead of him, because up front we've got Matthew Walker in the Super Tuner Honda Civic. And you can see Steve Barden actually starting to get away now in the lead of the production class. So just to recap, we've got tuners first and second, Stuart Hutchinson and Mark Bennett. Steve Barden leading the productions in third place, and this the scrap for fourth, Matthew Walker and Paul Donkin. Donkin in the treble 6, used to seeing that car being driven, of course, by Neil Holden, the Warrington-based driver, who's had some good results in it, so we know it's a good car. Down behind them, it's Stuart King in the 73, and Jeff Cooper's dropped back a little bit now, hasn't he, in the CRX. So Cooper is second in the Super Tuner class, 7th overall at the moment. Stuart King running P3 in the production class, the man from Cheltenham. Has hardly been off the podium all year, and it looks like he's going to maintain that run. Stuart King, who's started every race so far this year, as has Will Watkin, a little bit further back down the field. And those two drivers, I think, will distinguish themselves for being 100% starters through all 14 races in our 2015 Honda VTEC Challenge. Paul Donkin, though, still engaged in battle with Matthew Walker. This is for fourth position overall. Donkin second in production. Walker leading the Super Tuners at the moment, following the demise of Mark Kemp. Well, here they come. What is Walker going to do? Is he going to have a look down the inside? He's a little bit too far back to do anything as they come into the chicane, and I think lost a little bit of ground there as well. So up ahead of them we've got Steve Barden getting into back marker traffic in the 111, and still Stuart Hutchinson out front. There though is Mark Bennett, second position. The blue car out front is Stuart Hutchinson. So it's Hutchinson from Bennett, tuner class first and second, productions currently third and fourth. But Stuart Hutchinson is going to come through and take his first overall win of the year, having had two class wins already. The checkered flag is waved and Hutchinson takes the win, with Mark Bennett in second position. Third place will go to Steve Barden, And then Paul Donkin 4th from Matthew Walker. Stuart King is in 6th. Jeff Cooper comes home 7th from Ryan Fox. Then Will Watkin in 9th place. 10th goes to Peter Dunmore from Paula Webb. And then Tony Markham. Daz Smee 13th from Neil Wren.
Stuart, first one of the season for you. Talk us through the race, and what's this feeling like being at the top step?
Oh, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, it's just good to see me come over the line. I was absolutely so pumped coming over the line there. First win in the VTEC Challenge outright on the road from race DNA at 1.8. It was a superb race with Mark on the first few laps. Trying to get past him, he beat me on the start, rear wheel drive, so he gets away really well. Managed to get past him, and then just trying to keep a bit of a lead on him after the first few laps, but the smarts came into play. Back markers drew us back together again, and he almost got back on the back of me there, so just had to get through the traffic and just try and keep that lead on me as well. So on that, just try and keep the lead on him, but no, it was really good, fantastic race, loved every second of that.
Now, we mentioned Mark Bennett earlier on, been really consistent on the podium, and he's just had second in this first race. Mark, just tell us how it went for you. You got smiles all round.
Yeah, it was really good. I got a very good start over Stuart, and managed to lead him for quite a few laps, but he was I just couldn't defend much longer, and he got past me on one of the straights, and had a really good battle with Stuart. He did really well, so congratulations to Stu.
Steve, first in production, third overall, and it's the first time out with the Hondas as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had an amazing weekend so far. It's all going well, so chuffed to bits to be third in overall, first in class result for me.
I'm joined by Ben Hartley from Eurospec Performance Tuning Specialist, and you're the sponsor of the challenge, of the Honda VTEC Challenge. Just tell us about your involvement in the sport.
So we started sponsoring the VTEC Challenge this year. It's a great challenge. It's grassroots motorsport, so the guys can come along with pretty much whatever car you want, as long as it's a Honda, and have a go. You know, you don't have to spend loads of money. It's a great way of getting at motorsport, and it's great business for us too. So yeah, it's fantastic. Works for everybody.
Pole position goes to race 1 winner Stuart Hutchinson, Mark Bennett alongside, then Steve Barden and Paul Donkin, Matthew Walker and Stuart King next up from Jeff Cooper and Ryan Fox in 9th. Will Watkin from Peter Dunmore, then Paula Webb and Tony Markham, Daz Smee with Neil Wren, Martin Kemp in 68, Phil Wright, Mark Kemp is out as well. So a terrific effort from the Panic Link team to get both cars out on track, but it's a great start from Mark Bennett once again. Stuart Hutchinson in blue, Paul Donkin's up into 3rd, brilliant start by Donkin, Steve Barden, then Jeff Cooper, Matthew Walker in 10, and then Stuart King in 73. Phil Wright is back out on track as well. Broken wheel from race 1 repaired as the race leaders come down into the old hairpin for the first time. Round 14, or race 14 of the Honda VTEC Challenge for 2015, the last race of the year. And let's all look forward to the 2016 season. Hopefully we see out this year in great style that we've had all year. Stu King chasing Matthew Walker the lead runner in the Super Tuners at the moment. The lead two are away. Paul Donkin at the moment 3rd, and hard on the brakes, down on the inside line goes Steve Barden, takes the production class lead at the same time as taking 3rd position. Paul Donkin did not finish though, and the treble 6 car looks to the outside line. We've got Jeff Cooper in the mix as well in the CRX. Cooper's going to have a speculative look down the inside into Redgate. So very nearly 3 wide. Donkin on the outside challenging, but Steve Barden hangs on to the class lead. Matthew Walker and Stuart King trying to come up and join in the party as well. But Steve Barden takes that 3rd position. So Barden is there in 3rd. Keep your eyes open for the white 68 of Mark Kemp. Mark from the back of the grid. And great to have that extra car out on circuit in this one as well. There is Jeff Cooper trying to close down at the moment. Jeff Cooper running in the Super Tuner class, and at the moment is the leader of that class from Matthew Walker. Walker running in the 10 immediately behind the white and blue car, or the white car with the blue wheels. The white, blue and black blonde bonneted car is Stuart King, and there in behind them, coming through from the back of the field, is Mark Kemp. So Mark has picked off a fair number of cars, the man who has won 6 outright wins so far this year. And Mark now about to try and take second position in the Super Tuner class, which he does. He's got to chase Stuart King, who's in the productions. King immediately in front of him, running third in the productions at the moment. But for the minute, we've got Tuner class first and second, with Stuart Hutchinson and Mark Bennett, who had a terrific start. Thought Bennett was going to get into the lead, but Hutchinson managed to do it. And now we're looking at Mark Kemp, and you'd have to be brave to bet against Mark Kemp in the 67 maybe taking overall win here, because the pace that he's showing is very, very good indeed. Jeff Cooper still leads the Super Tuners. There is Kemp picking off the cars one by one. Paul Donkin, the next target for him in the production class. Meanwhile, back to the leaders. Stuart Hutchinson still there in the blue Integra Type R. Mark Bennett in the S2000 is behind him. Hutchinson at the moment's got the fastest lap in class. It was Mark Bennett who set fastest lap in the tuner category in race number 1. And just to summarise the classes, production class up to 3 litres, tuner class 1820 to 3 litres, but allowing engine swaps and modifications, and then the super tuner class, anything else. So the top 2 across the line and into Redgate once again. Steve Barden in third. There is Steve in red. So coming up towards Hollywood, we've got the what is now I think a battle for third place. We look at Mark Bennett in the 43. Bennett comes from Wimborne down in Dorset, and that's the that was the class leader in the Super Tuner category. Out of the race goes Jeff Cooper. I'm assuming some sort of breakage on the car. He's in the gravel, but hopefully he'll be able to make it back to the pits. So there is the new Super Tuner class leader, Mark Kemp. And Mark now looks up the inside line, goes into third position, passing Steve Barden. Barden retains the lead of the production class, but he's now relegated off the overall podium down into fourth place. But Mark Kemp, splendid drive through the field up into third place and hunting down the 2 tuner class cars of Stuart Hutchinson, who leads Mark Bennett, who is in second place. Into the Fogarty exit. Oh, and he pulls over! Mark Kemp has got a problem! Kemp is going into pit lane. There's the shot that sees Mark Kemp on lap 5 of the race pull into retirement. So family honours now have got to be upheld by Martin Kemp, who's coming through. There is Martin in the Super Tuner. He's the Super Tuner class leader now, Martin Kemp. So Stuart King immediately behind him, but so we've still got Steve Barden in third. So there is Steve. So Martin Kemp's turn now to try and get onto the overall podium. Steve Barden up ahead of him. Then we've got Stu King, who is immediately behind. King at the moment still third in the production class behind Paul Donkin and Steve Barden. Meanwhile, Stuart Hutchinson still leads. Hutchinson from Mark Bennett, who's starting to turn things up a little bit now. So Bennett's got his head down at the fastest lap in race 1, so he knows he's got the pace. Let's wait and see whether that does close up before the end of the race. We'll have a look now. The gap is coming down. It might be to do with backmarker traffic, but also I think the fact that Mark Bennett has got his head down. Blue flags out to the back markers. Across the line, these two go once again, and Stuart Hutchinson will be looking in his mirrors and feeling the pressure. Are we going to have a second consecutive outright win here for Hutchinson? Bennett runs a little bit wide. That may lose him a tad of momentum through Hollywood. Down into the Craner curves we go once again. And it's Stuart Hutchinson who is still there at the moment. Hutchinson had his first race of the season with us this year at Brands Hatch, retirement in race 1, second in class in race 2. Since then the car hasn't missed a beat, with 2 class wins at Mallory Park, an outright win in race 1, but he's coming under big pressure now from Mark Bennett. Bennett's piling the pressure on in the 46 car. The Wimborne driver closing in the S2000. He's had 3 class wins so far this year. And again, well, the back marker traffic, I've got to say, pretty well behaved, but now coming down the exhibition straight side by side for the race lead. But Bennett surely is on the wrong line here. He needs to be looking up the inside line unless he can carry more momentum into and out of the chicane. Up across the line they will come again. Here they come onto the last lap here at Donington Park. The last lap of the 2015 Honda VTEC Challenge. And what a race we're having. Here he comes down the inside. Mark Bennett goes for the lead. Bennett's got the line into Redgate, but Hutchinson is hanging on the outside line. They're still side by side as they go down through Hollywood. Bennett's trying to tuck himself up the inside line, but it looks like Hutchinson had more momentum around the outside. That was brave racing from the pair of them. Hutchinson's still there. Bennett's going to have a look up the inside into the old hairpin. Nothing doing there. It was a valiant effort, but it's Stuart Hutchinson who starts to rebuild the lead up into Schwantz corner through McLean's for the last time. Well, Bennett here will be thinking maybe about a dive down the inside into the chicane, heading up towards Coppice for the last time. The 2 tuner class runners are still there. Incidentally, we've still got Steve Barden on the outright podium and winning the production class. It's been a great first meeting for him. But here we come down the straight. Now watch Stuart Hutchinson. Will he come across as we look to the left hand side to block? No, he doesn't. This is a relatively confident run down into the chicane for Stuart Hutchinson. But Mark Bennett, what a last couple of laps. He caught up with the race leader, I think had his nose in front on occasion. There's the checker. Second win of the meeting for Stuart Hutchinson. Mark Bennett second. Steve Barden wins the productions. Martin Kemp next from Paul Donkin, second in production. Stuart King third in the production class. Then Will Watkin and Phil Wright. Ryan Fox in ninth from Peter Dunmore. Then Neil Wren from Paula Webb and Tony Markham in 13th place.
We're now joined by Mark Bennett and Stuart Hutchinson, and that race was fantastic, and especially that last lap.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, you always want to win, but if you come second and have a race like that and enjoy it, it's fantastic.
But that's what racing's all about, is that close competitiveness, isn't it? And it was safe out there as well.
Yeah, it's always safe. Yeah, it's as safe as we can make it. Yeah, I mean, it was close. There's a good bit amount of trust between the drivers, I think, on the VTEC Challenge. So you can race fairly and really close, and nudge through each other through the corners. But that was close. That's closest I've ever been. I think that was great racing. That.
Steve, what a great race there. You were third overall. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, another great result. Can't ask for much more really from a weekend. First time out with these and 2 podiums, 2 first in class. What more can you say, really? That's a perfect weekend for me.
Congratulations, thank you. A great job there to Steve and all the drivers in the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. Competitive, close racing, which was demonstrated in that last race. We want to thank all the marshals as well for making the racing possible. Can't wait to see you guys next year.